How to achieve a higher speaking band score is easier than you think. It's not all about using fancy words or complex answers, idioms or fancy phrasal verbs, but to keep answers simple, relevant, and on topic. Concentrate on the four things the examiner looks for. They are 1. Fluency and coherence, 2. Lexical or vocabulary, 3. Grammar, 4. Pronunciation. If you concentrate and work on these four criteria, you will get a higher band score, guaranteed. First, let's talk about common mistakes across the speaking test. When the examiner asks a question, many people answer either too short or too long. The best way to answer any of the examiner's questions is to first answer the question, then give a reason, and finally an example. If you answer each question this way, you will answer the examiner's questions in full. For example, do you work or study? You could answer in a simple way and say, I study. This is not incorrect, but it is a very basic, simple answer. You should learn to answer the questions in full. Again, let's look at the same question and see how we can improve on it. Do you work or study? I study. I study at the local university because it's close to my home. I am studying IELTS because I want to work abroad. Here, you've answered the question. I study at the local university. You've answered why, because it's close to my home. You've given a related response. I am studying IELTS because I want to work abroad. Remember to answer the question, give a reason, give an example, and remember not to overcomplicate the answer. Make your answer simple. You don't get extra marks for trying to impress the examiner. Which leads me to the next point. Don't try to impress the examiner by giving complex answers, full of fancy grammar, idioms, and phrasal verbs, for example. Keep the answers simple and think of it as a conversation. The examiners are trained to assess your speaking ability and not your memorization ability. They know when you're spitting out a memorized answer and when you're giving a genuine response. If you give memorized answers or try to answer questions about topics you know, you won't get the band score you want. Think about when you speak to a friend in your native language. You don't try to impress your friend by speaking in a complex way. You use simple ideas, simple ways in explaining yourself. This is what you need to do with the examiner. Simple answers go a long way. Now, yes, explain in detail, but don't overcomplicate it. What do I mean about topics you know about? Let's say, for example, you know a lot about social media, and the examiner asks you a question about using computers or tablets. For example, how often do you use a laptop or tablet? It's easy to respond and answer about the topic you know about. For example, I use my table to scroll through social media. Social media is very important nowadays because it helps us to communicate with people from all around the world. I use it for Snapchat, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, and start listing social media websites. These kinds of answers will do nothing to improve your band score. Here the question was about how often you use a laptop or tablet, not what you use a laptop or tablet for. These are two different questions. Furthermore, as soon as you begin listing social media sites, the examiner will ignore this response because you get no extra points for listing all the social media websites you know. One further point to mention before we end this video is that do not speak in your native language. You may think that is obvious, but you would be surprised how many people list places, food, etc. in their native language. Again, you don't get extra points for telling me all the cities you have visited in your country. This just wastes your time in achieving a better band score. To sum up, the examiner looks for 4 key criteria in the IELTS speaking test. 1. Fluency and coherence. Speak naturally and stay on topic. 2. Lexical resource, vocabulary. Use a range of appropriate words. 3. Grammar. Use correct sentence structures. 4. Pronunciation. Speak clearly and with natural intonation. To improve your score, avoid common mistakes. Answer neither too short nor too long. Use a structured approach. Answer, reason, example. Keep answers simple and natural, rather than trying to impress with complex grammar or memorized responses. Stick to answering the specific question rather than talking about a related topic you're more familiar with. For example, if asked, how often do you use a laptop or tablet? Don't just talk about social media. Instead, directly address the frequency of your laptop or tablet use. By focusing on clarity, relevance, and natural speech, you'll achieve a higher band score. Good luck, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share, and subscribe to the channel. IELTS Education.